disciples. There are some people that wish their whole youth group was disciples. That will never happen unless you chase everybody else off, which is the stupidest thing on the planet to do. Because all of those deciders and distractors are your future disciples. It's a lot easier to work with somebody who's already in the church, whether they're forced to be there or not, than it is to go find a complete stranger, get them in the building, and start that process of discipleship. Much rarer. So don't scare them off, but potentially look at the reality that you may have to have other opportunities for discipleship. Maybe discipleship can't happen on Sunday because you have so many distractors. Maybe discipleship can't happen at your midweek because in the midweek you're competing with sports and there's so many things that very few students can come. You may have to program in times in the course of a year where discipleship happens. One of the venues that we used as a youth pastor, because I'm so outreach oriented, we did mission trips. So by the time I'd been in my first location 5 years, we did 5 mission trips a year. We did a short 3 or 4 day one over spring break, Christmas break, and then 3 different ones in the summer. And on those breaks, the students got a chance to become disciples because they were putting into practice whatever Christ had taught. When you're on an outreach, there are so many different pieces of the life of Christ that get a chance to be tested, explored, experienced, that you can't do in a sermon. You cannot talk people into maturity. You can only walk people into maturity. And so to give them those opportunities to actually walk out things, we would do 24-hour prayer chains. And for most students, that is not their norm. To pray for a 2-hour shift. Remember the first time we started to do it, they were terrified, stupefied, like this is impossible. And in that first outreach where we did that with some instruction and the stumble bumble, we didn't worry about it happening. We just began that process of them learning how after a few days, they wanted to be in the prayer room. Rather than do our activities we had planned for outreach, they said, look, God's in here. They'd experienced what prayer is all about. And so that's that whole idea with the disciple, is to be able to, at some point in the course of a year, hit all your targets, your disciples, your deciders, your distractors, but figure out ways, based on what kind of youth group you've got, where your disciples get opportunities to grow, whether it's through ministry teams, outreaches, camps, one-day events, whatever. Give them the chance to put into practice the teachings of Christ.